Understanding the difference between exempt and non-exempt employees is crucial for both employers and workers. This distinction determines overtime eligibility and impacts numerous workplace rights under federal law. Exempt employees are not entitled to overtime pay under the Fair Labor Standards Act, commonly known as the FLSA. This federal law establishes minimum wage, overtime pay, and other employment standards that affect millions of American workers. To qualify as exempt, employees must meet 3 specific criteria. First, they must be paid on a salary basis rather than hourly. Second, they must earn at least $455 per week, which equals $23,660 annually. Third, their job duties must fall into executive, administrative, or professional categories. Executive exemptions apply to employees who regularly supervise at least 2 other employees and have genuine input on personnel matters, like hiring and firing. These are typically managers or others considered in charge of a department or team. Professional exemptions cover employees with intellectual jobs requiring specialized education, judgment, and discretion. This includes doctors, lawyers, teachers, and certain creative professionals, like actors and writers. Administrative exemptions are perhaps the most difficult to define. These employees typically perform office or non-manual work directly related to management or general business operations. They exercise discretion and independent judgment on significant matters, but don't directly produce the company's products or services. In contrast, non-exempt employees receive hourly pay and must be paid overtime at 1.5 times their regular rate for any hours worked beyond 40 in a work week. They enjoy more protections under the FLSA, but often have less workplace autonomy. Exempt employees are common in several industries. The finance sector employs exempt accountants, auditors, and financial analysts. Healthcare organizations classify doctors and many registered nurses as exempt. Technology companies typically consider software engineers and IT managers exempt. Educational institutions classify teachers and academic administrators as exempt professionals. The salary threshold for exemption has been subject to change. While the current level remains at $455 weekly, there have been attempts to raise this to $913 weekly, or $47,476 annually. These changes would make millions more workers eligible for overtime protection. Some states impose stricter requirements than federal law. California, for example, has a higher salary threshold and requires exempt employees to spend more than 50% of their time performing exempt duties. Employers must comply with whichever law, state or federal, provides greater protection to employees. Misclassifying employees can lead to serious consequences for employers. Companies that incorrectly classify non-exempt workers as exempt may face liability for unpaid overtime, penalties, and legal fees. The Department of Labor can investigate complaints and order back pay for affected employees. Tax implications between exempt and non-exempt employees are minimal. Both classifications have their income taxed according to standard tax brackets, as all compensation is considered earned income regardless of how it's calculated. When it comes to unemployment benefits, both exempt and non-exempt employees generally qualify, though specific eligibility varies by state. Some employees prefer exempt status for its predictable salary and potential flexibility. If they complete their work efficiently, they might work fewer hours while maintaining the same pay. Others prefer non-exempt status because they receive compensation for every hour worked, including premium pay for overtime. The highly compensated employee exemption provides another pathway to exempt status. Employees earning at least $107,432 annually who perform at least one exempt duty may qualify without meeting all standard duties tests. While exempt employees have fewer protections under the FLSA, they're still covered by other federal and state employment laws. These include anti-discrimination statutes, family and medical leave provisions, and workplace safety regulations. Understanding the distinction between exempt and non-exempt status helps both employers and employees navigate workplace rights and responsibilities. Proper classification ensures legal compliance and appropriate compensation for all workers.